there was a weird cut there. It's because an alarm on my phone just went off and cut the recording short. Anyways, the recording feature for YouTube doesn't filter anything out. Like, you can probably hear my fan going right now. The YouTube record feature doesn't filter that out. It doesn't put an emphasis on your voice or anything. It doesn't. It's absolutely terrible. Because the static is, I think, just it does that for some reason. It might have been my fan, and it was amplifying my fan, which doesn't make any sense. But if you want to record static, YouTube record feature is great. Also, when it said edit your video, I thought, oh, I'm actually gonna be able to, do things. I'm gonna be able to, put clips in, put images in, do whatever I want with the video, No, it's literally just, okay, you want to shorten the video? You can do that. It's like, what? Why would I want to shorten it? What? It doesn't make any sense. Speaking about YouTube, they did a thing with the quality recently, the quality settings. They have, excuse me, they have the auto, which is the recommended one, but who uses auto resolution? And then you gotta go all the way to the bottom, and it's like custom. And so I'm like, okay, is this like what is this? So I click on it, and it's just the normal one. It's like, what? Why? And there's just two other options there that are completely useless. It's like, why are you making me go through an extra step to do this? You should, what? Like, it should be the other way around. It should be the normal resolution screen, and then you can push a button at the very bottom of it to take you to the extra settings or something like that. But it shouldn't have to be more work to manually. Anyways, when I tried doing this a while ago, I was talking about a fantasy thing I just kind of thought of. I do that a lot. I'll come up with an idea, kind of make a world around it, and then just drop it, because I'm bored of it, or I can't come up with any more ideas. So I just forget about it. I try to write as many of them down as I can, but they're pretty bad. Just in general. Like, I'll look at them sometimes just, for fun, and I'll be like, this is terrible. I can't improve it, but this is terrible. It's like, as a story maker, I guess, I'm really bad at making stories, like people. I'm really bad at dialogue and actual interactions, because I'm like, well, I know what I would say, but what do they say, I'm not used to thinking, oh yeah, they're gonna say this. No, who does that? I'm busy thinking about what I'm gonna say next, and that's hard, okay? It's really hard to do conversations, or just English at all. My brain runs at about 1 frame per second. You can tell me something, and it'll take me like 3 seconds to respond, because if I'm already doing something, and you say something, my brain's like, yes, useless. I don't need that, I don't want that. Save it for later. And later is about 2 seconds later. It realizes, oh wait, that was important. That was a person doing something. And then it's like, okay, yeah, they said this. And I'm like, oh, well, now I seem rude, Like, I'll ignore you for 2 seconds, and then it'll take me a while to realize, like, what did they say? Oh, yeah. Sorry, and then it's so bad. I also have memory problems, because I have ADHD, so I'll be doing something, and somebody will ask me to do something, and I'm like, okay, I'll do that, and then I'll continue to do the thing, like, I'll say, okay, I'll do that after this, and then I'll finish that, and I'll be like, wait, what was I supposed to do? It can't be that important, and then I'll just forget about it, and then they'll ask me, like, hey, weren't you supposed to do that thing? And I was like, oh, about that. But yeah, the fantasy world I was talking about in that first video. The video is, I think, one of my first. It was the just me talking with a lot of static. You can't hear the words. I turned my volume all the way up with headphones, and I could not hear the words at all. You can hear faint like, but that's it. You can barely hear anything really. But the fantasy world I was talking about was one where meat is kind of like, it's basically your stereotypical like Flood from Halo type situation, where the meat, probably a lot of you probably aren't gonna know what this is. 5 of you that are gonna watch this. Hive minds from Halo, or no, not hive minds, grave minds. There's big piles of dead things that are smart because they know everything that the dead things knew. That's how the Flood works. It kills you, and now it knows all your memories. Well, it doesn't kill you. It kills you, and takes your body, then knows all your memories. That's probably not accurate to what it actually is, because I heard that like a few months ago, and I've probably forgotten most of the details. But that's fine. You don't want to hear that. So that's that's it, pretty much. It's like a Flood type thing where the meat, it just wants to eat you, pretty much. It wants to make more meat. That's its entire job. Its origin story is man decided, yes, I want to make the perfect self-replicating meat. Sounds stupid, I know, but my excuse for that is corporate greed? Question mark. And it works, okay? Trust me, it's dumb, but it works. Anyways, so he did that, and then the meat, after a while, I'm just gonna, I was kind of throwing things out here, like, okay, why did it get smart, though? How did it learn to do the making human copies that want to also eat things? Speaking about human copies, they're not human. They are completely made of meat, so they're kind of weird, and definitely do not have skin at all whatsoever. They're just muscle and some bone fragments here and there. So yeah, that's that one. I don't know. It's weird, I guess. I'm terrible at commentary, just on anything, really. And my I want to say idea, but it's more of an excuse for why they gained sentience. Sentience was that it used the DNA of the meat that was put into it to make a brain on accident. Because, my thinking there was, well, life accidentally happened one time, or why couldn't brain? A very rudimentary, nervous system at best. And then from there, I'm guessing there was, a crack in the containment, whatever. Because this meat was already, a dangerous thing, if you touch it, it's gonna eat your flesh, and then make more of itself. That was kind of the entire point. You feed already meat into it, and it produces better, tastier, gooder meat, right? That was the whole point of it. But then it got smartest and started making, copies of living creatures. And I probably ate a few bugs here and there. Ate a few bugs here and there, They went out, got some other smaller insects and or just insects. Then they, came back, fed it to him. It spread a little bit. It might have been like a crack in his containment. whatever or something. The story is really loose. And this is all a game idea. Technically, but I kind of dropped that because when am I ever gonna make a game? Though. So. That was. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so it was gonna be a shooter game, basically, right? And you can choose the faction of the meat or the peoples, the humans, which who would choose humans? Like that's kind of extremely boring. Like you have the choice to choose between normal, boring humans or cool new thing. That's another thing I never really got. It's like because people like to open. There's my air conditioning. People are people like they'll read a book like about realism, and that's okay. You know, if you want to read a book about like realistic fiction, that's fine. I don't care. That's what you like, you know. But if you're gonna read a fiction book that has like all this cool stuff, and you're just gonna, like stuff like dragons and magic and all that cool generic stuff, and you're gonna read a story about a bunch of humans doing whatever, right? That's boring. Seen it a million times. Give me something new. So there's this. So, advertising time. No, not at all. Um, there's a book series that you might have heard of, you might have not. I don't know. It was real popular with fourth graders at the time of when I found that out, obviously. But it's called Wings of Fire. It's your generic story, but instead of people, it's dragons now, and I like that. I'm a very simple man. I What's that? It's not people? Great, I love it. 10 out of 10. More, please. And they did just release a new book. I read it in a day, and that was fun. Gave me some thought juice. My brain worked for about 10 seconds after that. It was great. I have one of the Legends books, which is a spin-off series. I read the other one, and I haven't gotten around to reading the next one. I don't know if it's the next one or if it was the first one. I think it was the second one. Anyways, it's a story based around humans, so I already wasn't exactly interested, and then most of the characters are boring, stereotypical. I don't care about this dude. Yeah, his parents or his sister. No, I think it was his sister. Supposedly, quote unquote, got killed by dragons. But no, she didn't. She got out, and now she has a baby one. Why? Because luck. That's it. Just luck. Nothing else. And then there was this group of girls or something in a human, like I want to say city. It's more of a stronghold than anything, like a fortification in the side of a mountain than a city. But yeah, there's three of them there. One of them's dad is quote unquote dragon slayer, which is just kind of fucking lame, dude. Like, obviously he's the stereotypical fake hero. He is supposedly done this amazing thing or whatever, right? But he just didn't, or it was a massive fluke, like giant fluke, and I don't know why, but the first thing that comes to mind when I talk about that is I think Shark's Tale is an incredibly crappy, I think DreamWorks movie, or no, it was something else. studio, not the movie. I think it was something like that, like Shark's Tale or whatever, right? And I think it might have been. I don't remember. Their logo is blue. That's all I really remember. I don't think it was DreamWorks though. It might have been. I don't know. I don't know. But it's an incredibly crappy movie. Like it's terrible. It is absolutely horrible. Like it's just not good. That's it. Not good. Not one time. Not one good. Like even the jokes. Like there's not a single joke in that movie that is actually funny. And I'm a child basically. You know my sense of humor is like it's been my sense of humor has been boiled down to the most basic things. I laugh at words now, dude. Like it's terrible, cause I'm like a lot of my like humor comes from things like what's it called? Memes. Goodness, dude, I could not think of it. A lot of my humor comes from memes, right? Because that's a lot of this. That's a lot of what I It's a lot of the media my brain absorbs. That's not the right word for it. I know there's another word for it, but my brain is having trouble thinking. So I completely forgot what I was talking about there. Back to fantasy things. I really like fantasy. It's one of the only genres I'll really read, you know? Because the other ones I find boring. Like, why do I want to read a story about humans doing human things that I see and or do every day? Except, plot twist, now it's spicy. No, it's not. Like, at all. Just, like, that's it. I don't know where I was going with that. But, yeah, I don't really like things aside from fantasy, because it is boring to me. I never really got reading books that aren't fantasy, because it's like, well, that's why I'm reading a book. You know, unless I'm reading a book about something that happened in real life, then I want, you know, something that doesn't happen in real life, you know? I want something new and exciting, you know? I want something that actually, you know, like, a new experience, I guess. Sorry if there's a lot of ums and uhs in this. I have no script or anything, this is literally just me talking, so I'm sorry if it's bad. Oh, there it is again. My goodness. I could talk about other fantasy things. I'm really into, what's it called, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, if you know what that is. It's actually a couple. I mean, I'm guessing you don't. You might, I don't know. But if you do, great, that's awesome. I really like it. I think it's neat concept, you know, the whole stand thing. I don't know what about it I like so much, but I just do, I guess. And I've made several quote unquote original stands. A lot of them are just bootleg versions of things that already exist, which is uncommon. Well, not uncommon, just actually fairly common with fan stands. Like there's a I think Roblox game where it lets you pick pieces and stuff from what's it called, from stands. It's got a bunch of models in the game, and you can choose whatever color you like and just you can make your own. That's the whole point of it. I'm not the best at making things look good, but I like to say most of mine are pretty okay. There's a few of them that need work, but in general they're pretty fine. One of the I was pretty scared to do it for a while because I'm like, well, yeah, no, I don't need to do that. I kind of got. I don't know if it was like pressured or something, but it was just kind of for some reason avoiding it. Yeah, until eventually I was like, okay, fine, I got a goodish idea, I might as well. And I was watching a video or something about it, or something. I was watching a video about something JoJo. I think it was from Caleb IA, maybe. It might not have been. Someone was talking about how how there's been a healer in the main JoJo group since after part 3, Josuke, Giorno, Foo Fighters, all that good stuff. And I was thinking, well, hey, I want to make a stand that can heal, and then I thought, well, does it have to just heal? And then I thought, Crazy Diamond exists, okay, and then I came up with an ability and stuff, and I was like, well, its ability is kinda just healing. I mean, yeah, it has like a few offensive abilities, and I could see how they would maybe make it better, but I was like, oh, I'll give them another. And I was thinking, okay, this is gonna be a really low-powered stand, it's gonna have a lot of range, and, like something like Hierophant. Yeah, I've probably alienated like half my audience of 5 people. And sorry if I have. You can skip this if you want. I might put a timestamp or something. But I wanted to be like that, and I came up with, I couldn't, well, I probably could find a song that fit it if I searched for it, but I just decided, movie quote, who cares? And then I decided, the bees, because that's what it was based off. It was based off of bees, and I forget the exact, how it worked, but the entire healing thing of it was the honey part, and I was thinking, well, it's gonna have 2 sides. It's gonna do one at a time, and one needs to be off for the other to work, so it can't be doing both, even though it wouldn't need to do both at the same time. Its first ability was healing, obviously. It had honey that was really, really good for you, your body. Because, I heard something about how honey is a really good, natural something or other, it's really healthy for you or something like that. All I knew was they put it in a lot of herbal teas and shit. Nope, sorry. Herbal teas. So I thought, well, why can't I do it but better? And so, yeah, that's it. And its other ability is a lot more offensive. It can make bees or wasps or hornets. I never really decided. Vaguely bee-like things that are extremely poisonous and well, extremely as in, you know, a few hundred need to sting you before, you know, it works. But it controls them through pheromones, so you really only need to like if it says, okay, attack that thing, it can't control the pheromones. The pheromones just kind of go, you know. The bees don't have to pick them up. You know, obviously if one does, then it'll tell the others, hey boys, we gotta murder that person. But again, it's not an extremely like nerf thing, and it does take them like a good minute to kill you, like just outright, you're dead. But if you pair that with some of the other things, like other stand abilities I've made in this, you know, alternate universe, I guess. No, I guess it's just a universe, another one. It's kind of bad, not gonna lie. I mean, it's a good stand, just like on its own. It's not bad by any means, but I wouldn't say it's good either. But it's also like itself is poisonous. So like if it scratches you, that's a thing. But I thought it was gonna be okay. Low powered though. We gotta keep this low powered. So it's like its destructive power is like a I think like a B if you include like a B if you include all of its abilities, but like just the punching power of the stand, it's like a C at best. It really weak stand. That was the entire point of it. And then I made the Four Horsemen of Apocalypses into stands. Because, you know, I thought, oh yeah, that's a cool concept. I might as well. So the first one I made was, you know, death, because hey, I know that's right. So I did. Its entire ability is the user chooses a target and then it becomes an automatic stand. That it's extremely durable, you know. It's near indestructible, like sheer heart attack. It's not indestructible. Like if you have a high-powered stand, something like, you know, Crazy Diamond or Star Platinum, anything that has, you know, even something like Dual Experience, which isn't exactly the strongest stand, could probably do pretty well against it. But its entire thing is, if it touches you with its hand, you will instantly die. It's extremely slow. It has a lot of range, obviously, because it's an automatic stand. But if it touches you, you will die. And it does have slight range capabilities. It can shoot off its finger, but it's really hard to aim. And it can only do that once, you know. So, and the user also has to, you know, lose a finger when doing that, so it's not the best. But it is a trade-off they can do. If they need to, sorry if I'm just, you know, dragging on, not talking about anything interesting, but, it's something to talk about, so I'll talk about it. You're probably not even gonna watch this far anyways, so who cares? I've been recording for like 30 minutes, that's fine. It's probably 40 now, because of the cut earlier. It's fine. Anyways, yeah, that was the entire point of it. It's because death is inevitable, so the entire point was it'll chase you down, you know, to the end of the earth for just fucking forever. Just forever. it's hard to get off your tail. It also has a scythe that it just straight up uses to attack. I was going for a generic death look, you know. It's probably a bit more, you know, Metallica, you know, it's got a... It's not just a skull for a head, it's got some metal bits here and there, you know. It's not perfectly generic death, but I was trying to go as generic as possible. So obviously, it's, you know, black cloak looking thing, hood and cloak, big, big scythe that is a real, just, hey, look at me, scythe, you know? Sorry, I was doing something there. And it's mostly a skeletal appearance with, you know, glowing red eyes, all that good stuff. Horns, real evil looking, stereotypical death type thing. The other ones aren't as bad, trust me, but I was thinking, well, it is literally death from the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse, so, what do people think of when they think of death? The Grim Reaper, so obviously I'm gonna model it after what the Grim Reaper is in most, what I think the Grim Reaper is, at least. Yeah, there's probably something else to it. Oh, that's right. When the user dies, everything in like a 50-meter radius, which is a lot. I'm American, so I don't really know how meters works, but I'm pretty sure it's something like around, like 1 meter is around 3 feet or something like that. I don't actually know, but I'm pretty sure it's like a meter is around a yard, basically. Like, if I was to choose an American, I think it's a standard or something, blah, blah, blah. If I was to choose a measurement from that, it would have to be a yard. And I am all over the place today. This is great. Yeah, when it dies, everything in a 50-meter radius dies. I mean, what did you expect? It is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's gonna choose a... Or not gonna choose, it's gonna have a big, fat, overpowered ability, you know? The next one I made was, I believe, War? War is such a weird word. It's W-A-R, which is just war. Like, it's a golden bracelet with a red ruby on it that has the ability to convince anyone of anything that another person is lying. Sorry, not of anything, or anything, that another person and or thing is lying to them, and then make those 2 things want to fight. It also just has a passive ability that makes its user very persuasive and attractive to others, you know, makes it more likely that they'll listen to them, just in general. And it can also, if people are really wanting to murder each other, get stronger and better. And if, you know, a straight up conflict breaks out for long enough, it can manifest into its, to its humanoid form. Which is just a, that was like, okay, what is war generally? Is and chalked up to be, I guess. I don't know. I couldn't find a word for that in my brain. No. So I just thought, well, a bunch of different armor sets. Excuse me. I had, it has some aspects of modern armor, has some aspects of Roman armor, some. I think I got some things from China and stuff. Really obvious, easy to notice, recognizable things of armor. Didn't really go too deep into it. And yeah, in its humanoid form, it basically has Survivor's ability, which if you don't know what that is, it's a Part 6 stand, so understandable. Survivor, I haven't actually read Part 6, I just know, I just know a lot about it from spoilers and stuff. So anyways, Survivor has the ability to make people aggressive. It's terrible, horrible, the worst stand, definitely. It makes people really mad. Like, it sends an electric signal through their body that makes them want to kill people. It makes them a murderous rampage, right? Except it's not biased at all. It has no bias, 0. So the user will affect his teammates and himself. So he'll just end up making everybody kill each other. Absolute bloodbath. It's terrible ability. And yeah, so I thought, well, I want to make a better Survivor. That's what I did. That was the inspiration for war, at least. But in its humanoid form, it, is now a humanoid stand, so it's got all the advantages of that. It's still a relatively weak stand, but it can, once again, use the, murderous tendencies of the battle tendencies of others. That's a stupid joke. A JoJo riff. Oh god, terrible. Anyways, can use the murderous tendencies of others to create, laser beams of pure I want to murder you, which can either cause physical damage or fill said person with said I want to murder you energy, which is pretty much just a collect. Oh, the bracelet form can do that as well, just on a much smaller scale. I'm drinking water. Sorry. But it's a really bad close range stand. So what I'm guessing the user would do in an actual fight is, I don't know, just, well, I do know, I did have something to say. He would convince a bunch of people that certain people are very bad and or trying to kill them, whatever, that good stuff. Probably walk up to the main group and say something like, hey, how are you? I don't know, just talk to him or something. Maybe they disguise themselves as a waiter, or something like Polnareff did in Part 3, and then walk up to him and be like, hello, how's your day been? How are you? And then he'd be like, maybe shoot one of those lasers out from his bracelet, Because it can build up and store it. It doesn't have to be pulling actively, it can take and store it. It's just, if it stores it, it eventually has to release it. So if it does store enough to where it is now in its humanoid form, and it releases too much, it will revert back into its bracelet form. that one was really easy to nerf. Okay, I kinda had to. Anyways, the next one I made was Famine, because that's the next one I could remember, and its entire ability is, you guessed it, probably, maybe, it makes people really hungry. What it is it's a small, legless, with a blue stand with a hole in its stomach, and, you know, a face similar to Soft and Wet, but I imagine not, you know? Like, minus the ear things and the side, which Soft and Wet is a part 8 stand, so I would understand if you don't know what that is. But yeah, no, it's teal, which is real weird color. I know. It's got the inside of it where the hole is yellow, and it's got a cage on its head. The cage is cage color. It's just metal, you know, gray basically, and it can, you know, put it's a normal, like, controlled stand, I guess. I don't know what to call it, just normal stand, right? And then it becomes a remote controlled stand, right? When it uses its ability, which is it can put a what's it called? Cage. I'm forgetting words the longer I go. It can put a cage on somebody, which it makes it so they can't, or they get really hungry, they lose a lot of weight, they progressively lose their strength. This happens over like the course of like an hour, right? The cage is invisible to them and invisible to most others, unless obviously you're a stand user. But even then, it's hard to see, you know? Kind of like active camouflage from Halo. The more the effects happen, the more obvious the cage becomes. But you're probably thinking, well, couldn't they just eat? What? No. For one, even if they did eat, their hunger would kind of just stay. Like it's a stand-imposed hunger. So no matter how much they eat, they're still gonna be hungry. It's not gonna do anything. The stand's just gonna take it and be like, nah, I don't think so. But another thing here is everything in like something. I think it was something like 50 meters. I really like the number 50. If you couldn't tell, it's a good big number. Okay, meter radius. It could be smaller. It could be bigger. I don't remember too well. And stretch there. Sorry. And oh, sorry, I got distracted. And it destroys, or I guess it like ages food super fast. So it makes it start decaying, like it's got this like aura, I guess a real big one, around it that makes food start to rot and decay extremely fast. So even if the person affected sees food or knows where food is, the food is probably going to rot by the time they get there or try to eat it. Also, decomposition happens a lot faster around it. So, because of that, oh, the only reason that happens is because dead things could be considered food. Like, you could technically eat a dead body. Like, that's kind of how food is. So it decays that fast, too. So that's it. It's one of the worst ones, in my opinion. But that's its basic ability. Oh, not basic. That's just it is. That just is its ability. Sorry. And the last one is plague. And after I talk about this, I'm probably gonna wrap it up because I've been talking for a while. It's probably gonna be extremely long video, to be honest. Oh my goodness. This one's plague. Plague is a hive stand, colony stand. I don't know what to call it. It's a bunch of little things together. It's a bunch of like weird stand rats and fleas and flies and stuff. Things that cause the plague. Or, well, flies don't cause the plague, but I guess be mosquitoes, maybe. Anyways. What's it called? Plague, yeah, that's right. It has a humanoid form, where they all kind of squish together into a big pile of man now. Kind of like Highway Star. Which is a Part 4 stand, so you might not know what that is. I doubt it, though. Might not remember it, to be honest. It was kind of uneventful. But that's fine. I'm a big JoJo fan, if you couldn't tell. And what's it called? I say that when I can't think of things, by the way. I'm not forgetting the name of it. I know it's plague, but I'm trying to remember what its abilities are. In its humanoid form, it is, a pretty decent stand. It's definitely not bad, like power-wise and stuff, but it's definitely not good either. Kind of like, again, Highway Star. But in its, what's it called? Oh yeah, that's right. It's also kind of like Purple Haze, where it has a virus that is extremely infectious and pretty deadly, kind of like Corona, which is something I know everyone knows about. It's kind of like coronavirus, which I didn't have in mind while making this. It would have been a lot better if I did, probably, because I could accurately describe something, I guess, maybe, I don't know, I'm just throwing out ideas here, but, this virus is extremely infectious, so there's basically a cloud around it and its users, so anyone that comes too close to them is probably going to get infected, unless they have, like something like a mask on and stuff like that. And if the user touches you, you're pretty much, you're screwed. You are infected now. There's nothing you can really do about it. That sucks for you. It's pretty deadly. It is literally the Black Plague, okay? Now you're probably thinking, well, we have cures for that, right? Yeah, but this one's different. This one is new. This one is still the Black Plague, but plot twist, it's a stand plague, so normal medicine has no effect on it. It's pretty much useless, not gonna lie. And because of that, the user kind of just infects people willy-nilly. It's like, well, they're not going to survive this at all, so I might as well do it, just, for fun. Its other abilities in stand form are, I don't remember, because I'm dumb. So sorry if you wanted to hear those, but I can't remember them. Anyways, this recording's like an hour long. Anyways, in its hive form, I guess, I don't know what to call it. Like colony stand, hive stand, group stand, I don't know. But that form, it can, do the same thing. It can infect them with the viruses. It can also, change its body from humanoid to not humanoid, whenever it wants. And it doesn't have to do, an entire body part, like its whole body. So it can just, make part of its arm hive, kind of like how Zippy Fingers, God, my goodness, dude. Sticky Fingers. I was trying to say Zipper Punch and Sticky Fingers at the same time, and I got Zippy Fingers. Sticky Fingers has the Zipper Punch, where it can, unzip its arm and punch really far away. It can kind of do that, except it turns its arms into a bunch of little tiny things that grow, kind of like how ants make bridges out of other ants. They grab onto each other in bridge time. Kind of like that, except it punches you instead. Same thing for, whatever that can do. I think I might have had another ability or something. I don't know. I know I had, at least one more thing, but I just can't remember it. I remember I had one more thing because I was really trying to get at least one more thing on this. Because I wanted them each to have a unique ability, that wasn't their normal power. That was kind of like just an extra staple on, But then I couldn't think of one for some of them, so I was like, well, that sucks. I don't know why, but I really, really wanted one for Plague. I seriously, I don't know why. Anyways, that's that. I'm out of things to talk about. And I'm kinda running on fumes right now, so goodbye, and I guess have a good day. I don't know. Right now, it's very much in the day, so yeah, have a good day, and this is dragging on awkward, and I'm sorry. So let's do this again. Goodbye, and have a good day. Hope you come back. If you didn't like this, I'm sorry. I could get it. I kind of just ranted on about JoJo's there. So I'm sorry about that if you didn't like it. But I hope you at least enjoyed the first bit of it. Goodbye. Once again, hope you have a good day, and come back if you like. Also, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Goodbye.